Hey everyone, welcome to Tips from the Top. Tonight we have my absolute favorite ambassador and very, very dear friend, Julia Cartee. And if you don't know the story, Julia and I met years ago in church in Texas in a Dave Ramsey class. And it was quite funny because at the time, I remember thinking like these envelopes Julia and I were talking about, like we didn't even have the money to put in the envelopes. So kind of funny, thinking back now and looking how far, we've come. And Julia is one of the very top producers in the entire company. So she had just kind of like took this and poured everything into it, and she has done such an amazing job. She is an amazing, amazing leader, and I am so super proud of her, and I am so thankful that she's on our team and that she is taking time out to be on our call tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it over to her, and then she's gonna share her story and then a few tips. And if along the way you have questions that you would like to ask her, feel free to ask them in the chat, and then we'll address them at the end of the call. So I am going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Julia.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, this is exciting. I don't feel like I get to do many calls with Angie. At the beginning, I only did them, and I'm excited. I don't recognize many of you because sometimes I think my team has heard my story 4 billion times. So sorry, Tina Marie, I do see you on here because I know she knows it backwards and forwards. But my family, we are self-proclaimed gypsies. Actually, right now we're hashtagging retired gypsies because we actually just bought a home here in Mobile. First time we have owned a home, I'm trying to think, since my second child was born. So at least probably like 8 years. And we've moved around a lot. So my husband has been in the ministry for about 9 years. We have 4 children. Right now they are 10, 8, 7, and 5. So when I started Plexus, they were 2 years younger. But we moved to Dallas, Texas. Jared was at a church out near Columbus, Georgia that we loved, and we were very happy there, but we just really felt that we were supposed to move to Texas. And my sister lived out in Texas, in Dallas, and we were going to move out there, and we had, it's not like we had a lot of debt in the sense of credit cards. We never really believed in credit cards, thank the Lord. But we had a lot of medical expenses. We had 4 kids in 5 years. I had a really bad accident after my 4th child that accumulated a lot of medical bills. And we had student loans. And I was not working. So it wasn't like we were even using the degree I got my student loans for. But, so we came up with this grand plan that we were going to move out to Texas, get debt free. My husband was going to work a secular job, and then we would leave and do full-time ministry. So for the first time, my husband got a secular job. But like life happens often, it did not work as we planned. And like Angie said, I met her. My sister actually paid for that Dave Ramsey class because we could not afford Dave Ramsey classes. And just like she said, I remember thinking, like, we can't even pay our bills. How are we supposed to put money in these envelopes? Like, there was no envelope. So, Angie and I kind of bonded over that. But I will say, while we were living there, I only lived in Texas 18 months, which just seems absurd because I made some of the greatest friends during those 18 months. And pretty much every woman that I knew in the DFW area started sharing about Plexus. So a good friend of ours, Andrea Mitchell, started posting about Plexus. And at that time, I used Facebook to stay in touch with old friends. We didn't live near family. And I did not want to be sold to. So I found that favorite button, unfollow, and I unfollowed. If you sold anything, I unfollowed you. Like one post, unfollow. So I am here to say, if you have a friend that you know has unfriended you or blocked you or unfollowed you and told you to never talk about Plexus with her, she might be the next diamond on your team. You do not know what is going to happen in her life for her to see the need for these products or this business. You don't know what the Lord has planned for her or him. So don't give up on people. Love people where they're at. And that's probably one of my biggest tips from the top, I guess, is love people where they're at. Because I can remember Angie coming over with her daughter and I guess, son. And we kind of made fun of the Plexus people, probably not really Christ-like, but we were like, we're never doing this. Like, they on like smoking. I don't know what they're doing with this pink drink, but wanted nothing to do with it. However, our friends were our friends. They continued to take us to lunch. They continued to be our friends. We did date nights with them. And I never felt pressured. Now, I was annoyed, but I was never pressured. And so one day during a play date, Andrea, actually, our children were pretty much, she has 4 or 3, and they're kind of the same age as my kids. She saw that my 2 youngest had severe eczema. I'm sorry, this is not compliant, but we're not sending it out to prospects, so we're all right. They had severe eczema, and so we were going to allergists, dermatologists, all over the DFW area. And so she gave me, nothing was working. We were doing bleach baths. It was horrible. She gave me the bottle of the ProBio 5 and the body cream. And she said, Julia, just try this. And I'll be honest, I stuck it in my diaper bag and kind of rolled my eyes. I was like, she's trying to stuff this stuff down my throat. Like, I'm not interested. But I went home, probably like some of your people that you might have given product to or finally convinced to buy. I used it a couple of times, said it didn't work. Didn't give it a real chance. Few months passed, in fact, 8 months. I watched my friends, Angie eventually joined, and I was kind of like, what's she doing? Like, I thought we weren't going to do this together, but she joined, and I watched them do this for 8 months, and I watched them succeed. I tell people, I went to lunch with Andrea and her family the day she went Emerald, and I was like, good job, way to go, Lexus, that's good for you. Like, I thought it was like one person could succeed and nobody else would succeed. She was the top of the pyramid. And so for 8 months I watched, but something happened, and that is my husband lost his job. And so we were already financially strained, but that was kind of when we hit rock bottom. I did not know what we were going to do. And so I have a teaching degree, but I hadn't taught since my second child was born, and I really didn't want to go back to teaching. I did not want to leave my babies in child care. And I'll tell you, Texas teachers get paid a lot more than Alabama teachers. We do not get paid enough to put 4 in child care at all. And so I really don't want to go back to teaching. So I decided, there was a few things that happened, but I decided, you know what, I went to breakfast with Andrea one morning, and she was talking about something, and I said, Andrea, how much money are you making? And she told me, and it was a lot. It was way more than, I would have ever made teaching in a month. And I was like, whoa, you're making that much money. So I remember texting Ellen and even calling Angie, like, are y'all making real money? And they were making real money. And so I called Jared, my husband. I said, you know what? If these products work and our friends are making real money, and these are women that I respect and who have integrity. These are past wives at our church. My Sunday school teacher at that time was selling. I was like, maybe we should look into this. What if it did help us? What if we could make, if Andrea's making that much money, maybe I could just make $1,000 a month and I wouldn't have to go back to teaching. And Jared very reluctantly said yes. And so I started giving my children that probiotic and body cream. And for the first time ever, their skin cleared up, completely cleared up. And that's when I was like, okay, I can sell this. So I joined 2 weeks before moving back to Alabama. I moved to Alabama. I will say, moving halfway across the country. My husband had a new job that he was never home. Wasn't really making much money. I was homeschooling 4 kids. We didn't have the internet the first month. And I say this just because I know the excuses people use. My husband would come home from a long day of work, and I literally, I did. At that time, I don't think I realized, but I sacrificed. I left him, because I had been with the kids all day homeschooling. I left him to do dinner and bath time, and I went to McAllister's up the road 10 miles because it was the closest internet, and I sit there and worked my business every night. I'd sent my email, posted, I buffered my post because we didn't have internet at the house. So, to me, there's no excuse. If you want it, go and get it, because, it's really up to you on how well, how far you go in this business. And honestly, I had no understanding what this business was going to hold for me. So I will never forget, like I said, that first month, I knew I had to cover the products for my family because my kids were on the probiotic and the body cream, and I was on the triplex. I hadn't gotten my husband on it yet. And I was just hoping to make enough money to cover our products so we could continue with this. And I was in the Publix parking lot. If y'all are from the Southeast, y'all know what Publix is, the best grocery store in the South. And I remember getting that email with my paycheck and opening it up. And not only was it enough to cover our products, but it was enough to cover our first month rent. And guys, I just sat there and cried. I was like, oh my goodness, like this could be it. Like this, not only could this change like our finances right now, like this could change like our future for our family. And that's really when I jumped all in. And I'm going to go over a few tips at the, after my testimony, but I have a rule. Now, other tip is call your friends. If you have their number in your cell phone, call them. Do not Facebook message them. Do not expect them to see your Facebook posts and come to you because you don't want to be pushy. You need to give them a call and say, come do this with me. I tell people, if you're a new ambassador, you have this sweet spot to tell people, hey, come do this with me. Don't come do it for me. Hey, will you buy this for me? Nobody wants to be sold to. Say, I have, like I did. Hey, guys. And I mean, this was my speech again. I don't know how great it was, but it was to my best friends. I was like, hey, my friends back in Texas, they're making like real money with this, and these products actually work. Why don't we try it? If we're not making $1,000 in 6 months, we quit. Like that was my thing. We'll just quit because we lost $34.95. Like low cost, no inventory. I mean, let's just give it a try. And guys, I got a lot of friends jump in with me at the beginning. Now, I had a lot of friends, I still do, that are skeptical. Took them a little bit longer, but I truly think everybody probably has 3 friends that will do what you ask them to. And if they have the money, or if you can share the vision of this business with. So, and I'm a big believer, if you want to do this business with your friends, I mean, these are the people you're going to be going to Hawaii with. These are the people that you're going to be on Zoom calls with, every other night. They're the people you're talking. I mean, I called Angie every single morning, I know, for the first 6 months. Or probably 9 months. Then I think she kind of had to cut our cords and say, go fly. But, we talk, and we still talk almost probably every other day or so, because we enjoy each other. We're friends. So do you want to do this with your friends? So I got that. I realized that we were making enough to cover our month rent that first month. In 9 months, I did go Emerald. Now, I know that's fast. Do not compare your journey. It was just what the Lord had for us. And honestly, I think He knew we needed it. And my husband, actually, he hated his job. Again, he was in sales, and he's not a salesman. And so one day I was joking. I was like, why don't you just quit your job? I mean, we've never made this much money in our life. And the next day he quit. And I was like, oh, wait, I was just joking. I didn't really want you to quit your job. However, he's been a stay-at-home dad for 2 years now. He helped. We did put our children in private school this year, an awesome little Christian school that, again, I could cry talking about it because I never thought that would be a reality with 4 kids to afford a Christian school for them. But, we homeschooled together. We traveled. My children, people say this all the time. They're like, Julia, what if Plexus, dries up and goes away? Well, first of all, we have great products that people need. Consistent. It's not just weight loss. I don't think it's going anywhere. But by chance it did. We are now debt free. My children have had a childhood that most children never did with both parents home. Memories of their mama and daddy raising them. And I mean, that right there to me, and then I always say the friendships I've made. This has been completely worth it, even if it disappeared tomorrow. But again, I'm a huge believer. We have the best network marketing business out there because we have consumable products. I mean, I know y'all probably hear about that. I tell people I've built my business not on weight loss. I built my business, like I said, my kids had eczema. My mom has lupus. Again, this is so not compliant. Sorry, Angie. I'm a big believer in gut health. My thing is, now my best friend, she's lost like 70 pounds. I have another good friend that's lost over 100. You can definitely lose weight with these products. However, to me, weight loss is such a fad. It's a come and go thing. People lose weight, they'll jump to the next diet. But if you get somebody feeling good, you get people off their medication, you get someone, my husband hasn't had a migraine in 2 years. Guess what? They are your customer for life. I still have my very first customer that I got 2.5 years ago in July. She's still my faithful customer that orders every month because these products make her feel good. She's tried to quit one time and she came right back because she's like, I can't live without this. This probiotic's the best one out there. Slim regulates my blood sugar. Like my hormones aren't wacky anymore. So people come back. So I urge you, don't sell yourself short. Don't sell this company short by just focusing on weight loss. and really touch on the gut health and what it can do for people. Now, because of compliance, we kind of have to be creative. You have to be bold. You're going to have to go to your friends that you know have thyroid issues and say, hey, I don't know if you're familiar with plexus, but here are these testimonies, and I thought of you because I know you have Hashimoto's, and look how it's helped my team member. Hey, I know you have lupus, and I'm not saying plexus will heal it because it's not, but here's a friend of mine who has lupus, and look at what it's done for her. Have you thought about trying it? You're going to have to be bold and creative. And, I will say sometimes I think it was a little bit easier maybe for me at the beginning because I could just post about that stuff on Facebook where we can't now. But however, I'm still helping so many people. Again, it's just I'm getting out of my comfort zone a little bit more. Now, that was month 9 that I went Emerald. I went Diamond in 14 months. And I will say, by then it was just kind of crazy because by then we were making more in 1 month than we made in an entire year of our marriage. So you can imagine that our life just, just the stress on our marriage finances, on our friends. I love now that I get to share, it's just the financial blessings I've given my friends. I have so many that have got to come home from their jobs and raise their kids. My very best friend from high school and college, she actually just got home from Korea. She adopted a little boy from Korea, and she was able to do that without raising 1 penny of support. Like, I cannot express to you how much that just fills me with joy. Like, I love it. I love that my friends, and it's not just me. And like I said, when I saw Andrea doing it, and I was like, oh yeah, Andrea's making all this money and nobody else. Well, now I can say, let's say Angie, there's Angie, Amber Volbada, Ellen, and me, just out of about one Sunday school class, one little group, I guess Ellen went in Sunday school with us, that are all at the top of the company, are all jewel level. I look at my jewels. I have 6 jewels under me. All of us went to the small school, Troy University. Several of us were in the same sorority. I just think it's very... I love that it's not numbered. It's not one person that can make it to the top. There's room for everybody. And I also, one thing I love about Plexus, and I'm sorry, I'm just like talking, but is that you don't have to be the top of the company to make good money. I have good friends who are senior gold and ruby, which are great. I mean, that's a great thing, but they're replaced income. They're getting debt free. So you don't have to wait till you've won your Lexus or won the Hawaii trip, which were never really my goals, to make a change and change your family's life and finances. So I just think that this such a unexpected blessing to our family. I'm so very thankful for it. So thankful for the friendships and just everything that's given to us. So you might be sitting there and you're like, okay, Julia, that's your story. What's your tips? I've kind of thrown in some tips in there, but I'm a graphic girl. I'm a visual learner. It's the teacher in me, I think, and the ADD in me. So I have a couple of graphics. The first one is this. And if you're on my team, you've seen this a billion times, I'm sure. But it is 7 steps to success. I love to say that this business can be hard. Sometimes it's hard. We have people that quit. We have people, I always love to tell about the email I got of the lady that was like, I feel better than I have in years. I don't have any joint pain. I'm going to the bathroom regularly. I feel great, but I haven't lost a pound, so I'm quitting. And you want to hit your head up against the wall because you're like, what? I mean, these products are doing what they're supposed to. They just, you haven't lost a pound. Or you have the people that just lost 20 pounds, but they don't care and they go to the next things. So, this business can be hard, but it's very simple. So I'm a big believer of keeping it simple, keeping it duplicatable, because that's the key to your success. I have people on my team that can recruit people all day long, but they cannot duplicate. They can't get their team to follow them. You have to have both. So 7 steps to success. I believe in posting, Facebook posting. I think 2 to 3 posts a day. And then personal posts. Personal posts are just as important as Plexus posts. People follow you because they love you. They want to know about your life. They want to know your story. This is probably the one thing I do with my team. Like when I do coaching, people will tell me, they're like, Julia, I'm following all 7 of your steps. I'm posting every day. I'm following up. I'm making my list. I have all this stuff. I'm watching videos, but my team's not growing. And the first thing I do is I go to Facebook and I kind of Facebook stalk them. And 9 times out of 10, I can say it's either what you're posting, you're being too salesy, and you're not being personal, you're not sharing your story. We have to share and not sell. Or you're just vomiting plexus on your friends. You're not posting about your real life. And so, I mean, I've said this to people like, hey, this week, I want you to post pictures of all your children. And there's one person in particular I always think about because I did that. I was like, where are your kids? Where are your cute kids? Why don't you have pictures of them? And so that next week, she was very intentional. And guess what? She got like 2 or 3 customers that next week. Because that's how Facebook works. The more people engage on your posts, the more they see your plexus posts. So make sure you're balancing very real personal plexus posts with just non-plexus posts, personal posts. And, we could do all day of Facebook training, but that's all I'm going to say about that. Number 2 is make a list. Y'all, this is something I did at the beginning. Like I said, we were gypsies, and so I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't realize I had a plan, but I made a list. And in my mind, I wanted a team in Troy, Alabama, because that's where I went to school. My parents lived in Tuscaloosa. I wanted a team there. I wanted a team in Virginia Beach because my sister-in-law and brother lived there. I wanted a team in Dallas, Texas, because I had people in Forney and different places in Dallas. I wanted a team in Columbus, Georgia. And that doesn't mean I wanted to go recruit the whole town. In my mind, I wanted to recruit one of the most influential friends that I had in that area and let them grow their team. And guys, that's how I boomed. And you can ask Angie. I mean, I just kind of put like little people all over that I knew. And you have to get out. So sit down and think, where do I know people? And maybe you weren't gypsies. Maybe you've lived in your small town your whole life. But you still know people. You have aunts and uncles and cousins and maybe high school friends that have moved off. Like I have a friend that lives that I was a bridesmaid with her. Like I wasn't even friends. Like we met because we knew the bride. And she lives down in Louisiana. I'm like, I don't have a Louisiana team. And I know she's very influential. So I'm really trying to get her on my team. I have a friend who lives up in, just different places. So just think that way to try to spread out your teams and make your hundreds lists of people that need the products or need the business. Number 3, I am a huge believer of 5-3-1. Again, this is a lot of information in a small amount of time, but I truly believe in these 7 steps. 5-3-1, reach out to 5 people a day, follow up with 3, and train 1. If you don't have anyone on your team, train yourself. And these numbers might change depending where you are in the business. Like now, mine's more like a 2, 3, 5. Like I probably train more than I reach out, which I really shouldn't. I should be working my own business, but I'm being transparent with you. But make sure you're always reaching out to new people and not just don't hide behind the computer. You've got to meet that person in the grocery store line, meet that mother on the field trip. I just had a girl that I met on Black Friday in Toys R Us in Dallas. That I just got to talking to her and was telling her how I could afford Black Friday shopping. And she just messaged me. I friended her on Facebook, guys. And she messaged me and she's like, okay, can you tell me about that business you were telling me on Black Friday? What is it? It's January, February. So, 4 months later, 3 months later, she's contacted me. So make sure you're always meeting new people for your 5-3-1. Number 4, have written goals. I'm a huge believer of written goals. I love dream boards. I love timelines. Again, that's a whole nother training in itself, but you have to know what you want. In my mind, I wanted to make $1,000 a month. And that's what I wanted. And so every year I kind of had that, and I speak in dollar signs, not to sound materialistic, but I had that what I want, like this is my goal. Now a lot of times written goals for me is where I want my team. Okay, I want such and such and such and such Ruby by the end of March. That's okay because guess what? You get your team ranking up, you're just going to naturally rank up. And that's something I did along the way. I never remember thinking, okay, I've got to go Ruby. It was more, I've got to get Sarah and Leah and this person gold, and then I would just naturally go Ruby. So I think always focusing on your team is great for your goals. Number 5 is commit to personal development. This is probably my biggest weakness is personal development, but it's something I have learned recently is imperative for leadership. You will hit a leadership lid, as John Maxwell will say, and you have to learn, you have to be filled up to pour into other people. So, and this can be training calls. Maybe you're not a book study person. Maybe you're not a book person, videos, and fitting them in the nooks and crannies. While I'm doing dishes, while I'm doing laundry, while I'm doing makeup, I'm always listening to things and learning. And number 6 is fuel your fashion, your passion, not your fashion. Take your products daily. You have to be a product of the products. And I'll say for me, I never had a big, before and after picture. I personally didn't have any health issues. I mean, I can say for me, I'm more regular. That's probably my biggest health thing, but I'm not the type to post that all over Facebook, to be honest. I know other people don't mind, but that's just one day maybe I'll get the guts to post that. I'm more regular and I have more energy and my sugar doesn't drop, but that's about it. But that's okay. I'm still successful because guess what? I've shared these stories with so many of my family. I can talk about my mother with her autoimmune disease, my husband with no migraines, my kids. I have people around me that did have health issues that I can help. So don't wait for you to have your own personal testimony because it's really about just how passionate you are about these products. And number 7 is train. And again, this is probably my favorite. I sometimes can get lopsided because I love to train. I love to pour into people. I love to strategize with people. But I think it's very important because like I said, if you can only recruit but you can't train, you're not going to probably go too far. I will say, I heard this the other day and I loved it. If you're not telling every single person you know about Plexus, these products, then you do not believe in these products. Because if you truly knew what our products could do and you truly understood how they worked and how the nerve worked and how beneficial our probiotic is for people and our X factor, you would have no hesitation to pick up the phone and tell your friends and family. So if you're really hesitant, I urge you to build your belief, learn about these products, read as many testimonies, get with your upline because you would tell everybody. And it's the same thing about the business. To me, it was really hard for me to share about the business before I had personal success. But if you truly understood our compensation plan, if you truly understood how amazing this business is, you would want every single one of your friends, everyone to come do it with you. Excitement is contagious. I will say that's probably one of my strong suits is I'm just very excited and I'm going to go tell everyone about it. And I think that's very contagious and they get excited and then we're all excited and we're all sharing. Now that doesn't mean you have to be a blue to be successful. Excitement doesn't always mean hyperactive, but you still have this excitement in you because you believe in these products and you believe in this business. So that's kind of just my little, I did have one other. Do you want me to go into one other thing, Angie, or was that enough? I can't hear you.
I said, no, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I just thought because it isn't in the month, we have 2 days till the month is over. I was just going to kind of go, since it's tips from the top, I thought we might have some people, because those steps are for everybody. Those are the same 7 steps I would think Angie does. I do probably all successful Jules. However, I think too, as a leader, if you have a team, which means if you have one person under you, you have a team. Like especially if you're gold, senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, you need to be pouring into your team. And so I kind of came up with this. Again, I love acrostics and things. So this is the 3 C's. So every month I go over the 3 C's. And this is kind of my coaching. And it's calendar coaching contest of the 3 C's of planning successful months. So I just challenge you, what are you doing to plan for February? So I have my calendar will be planned out by the end of tonight. I'm actually meeting with my power partner tonight, and we will sit down, and we know Angie is our upline, so she does her tips from the top on Mondays. We do our team calls on Tuesday, so we'll figure out, and we think, okay, what does our team need? Does our team need product information? And so we will, do product information for the month of February. Do they need to be trained on how to gain more customers, more PV? I know that was our focus in December, was gaining PV, more customers. I'm a themey person. I like every month to have a theme. So, February might be fall in love with Plexus. And I'll create a new banner for my team page that says fall in love with Plexus. I think things should be visually attractive for your team. Basically, your team page cannot stink. You've got to make it a place where people want to go and learn. And to me, again, I know not everyone's built this way. I like a theme. But I think no matter what, you need a calendar. You need to know what's happening. And that way, I can send it to my leaders and say, hey, guys, this is what's on the calendar. And hopefully they kind of build around it. Because we need to work smarter, not harder. If Angie is doing a Zoom call, a boot camp on Monday night, there's no need for me to do a boot camp on Tuesday night. I might wait till the next week. That way one's offered each week. If I know I'm doing a training on how to post smart, that might mean my downline doesn't have to do that this month. They can do a training on something else, a different topic. So I just think it's great to communicate with your team, let them know before or the first day of the month, okay, this is what we have planned out this month. And it just keeps us all accountable. The second C is coaching. I'm huge on one-on-one coaching. I don't have a coaching page. That flopped for me. I tried. That's something part of my leadership growth. I do have leaders that have coaching pages that work beautifully and are very successful. For me, that's not my style. I'd rather do one-on-one coaching. So, I kind of plan out who I'm going to one-on-one coach. And when I say that, that's kind of, I get with them and I just pour into them. I'm a big believer of 80-20. Pour into your 20%. Love your 80, lead your 20. So your team page is for your 80. You're going to love everybody. But that 20% is who you're going to lead, and that's who you're going to do your coaching. And you might have to think about, ways to coach them. Maybe it's a book study. I love 21 Laws. Maybe it's going through Rock Your Network Marketing Business by Sarah Robbins. I think I totally messed up that title, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Just decide how are you going to coach them this month, because one-on-one coaching is going to give you, to me, the best, I'm not going to use correct grammar, fastest results there are. And then the third C is contest. And, Plexus Corporate is doing such a great job to give us amazing contests. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to pour their money into it. I could not afford contests when I first started. And that's okay if you're a beginner. Don't feel like you have to, because you probably have an upline, Angie, myself. We pretty much do some pretty good contests now. But, I think just giving away an $8 water bottle, are they in the back office again? I don't know. They used to be in the back office, but you can get them off Etsy, or a $15 shirt. People will do a lot for that. And to me, smaller contests work better. So like a weekend contest. Okay, everyone that signs up an ambassador this weekend gets, in a drawing for a t-shirt. You will be surprised. And again, that's just to create excitement and engagement on your team page. I love to give away samples so my team can use those samples to give away to people. It kind of generates that. So those are kind of my 3 C's when I'm planning for a successful month, is knowing my calendar, knowing who and how I'm coaching, and what contest I'm doing. And then I set that up for the next month. And it's just very duplicatable. This is something you can take to your leaders and say, okay, send me your 3 C's. And I know what my leaders are doing. So that's kind of that's my successful month. And that's really all I have, Angie.
No, that was really great. And I know I have that 7 steps to success graphic, so I'll post that after I post your call. But I thought that was fabulous information. I actually have like 2 pages in it. I always learn so much from you, Julia. Thank you so much.
And can I add that, y'all, I really didn't prepare for this call. But I wanted to just come to y'all what I really do. Those 7 steps, those 3 C's, that's what I genuinely do. Really nothing more, nothing less. And so I think that's the thing. Sometimes we try to have this huge, elaborate training, but it's not really what I do. So just to be very transparent, that's what I do. So hopefully just keeping it simple, keeping it duplicatable, y'all will go to success. Y'all will rise to success. So that's, I'm going to be quiet now. Go ahead.
No, I completely agree. I think when we started, there wasn't all of this training. There wasn't even a Zoom call, I think, until we were senior gold. Maybe we finally did one, but there wasn't all of this. And so sometimes I think all of this other training can kind of overwhelm. And, if people just kind of take it back to the basics of those simple 7 steps of what you should do every single day in working your business. If anyone has any questions, you can put them in the chat, or you could unmute yourself really quick and ask her. Or not. I'm just kidding. Or you can also post them later on the team page, and we can respond to you that way. So I know that Julia has another call that she's about to hop on. So I'm going to be mindful of her time, or respectful of her time. And thank you so much for taking the time out, because I know that you're so super busy, but thank you so much for taking the time out to pour into our team. I'm so incredibly thankful for you. I'm so thankful that we're doing this together, and I can't wait to see you in February.
Yes. Thank y'all very much. Yeah, just let me know if y'all need anything.
Thank you. Bye.